Hello, everyone. We are live for the self care challenge. So, today I am going live with StreamYard. So, if you post a comment, I may not be able to see your name unless you gave StreamYard the okay that it's okay for me to see your name or for Facebook to know who is sharing this. So, um, make sure there's a link there where you can click on the link and authorize StreamYard. If not, when I go back into Facebook, I'll be able to see your name, see your comment. Let me know if you're joining me live or on the replay. And I'm also streaming this to a Facebook business page and to YouTube as well. So if you're seeing me over there for the first time, you can join us in the free group, and the link for that is in the comments. So I'm excited to get started. This is such an important topic, and a lot of times people don't connect the idea of self care with quitting sugar or with weight loss or anything like that. So, and some people do, but some people don't. But I really wanted to help you elevate your self care game so that everything else that you're trying to do gets easier, because that's what self care can do. So, and what we're really focusing on is being able to feed our souls so that we can use the food for fuel. So, if you struggle with using the food to comfort yourself or to reward yourself, or after you've had a hard day, or if you tend to eat your feelings, sometimes these self-care practices can help you with that. And my goal is for you to be able to know what kind of self-care is best for you and to develop some self-care options for yourself. So, and talk about some of the myths in self-care as well. So often when we talk about self-care, we're just thinking of a mani, a pedi, a massage, which is all awesome, a night out with friends, something like that. But depending on how life is right now, that you may or may not have time for those things. Sometimes people may or may not have money for those things. So sometimes when life gets really stressful, we really are not able to do those things. So we feel like we don't have a way to have self-care, but we really do. So self-care is literally just taking care of yourself, whatever that is you need to do. And sometimes we think of things that are self-care, of things that maybe bring immediate pleasure or things that we've associated with pleasure in the past, but those might not be the things that are really taking care of us or that are really kind of feeding our souls. We want to talk about that. And so often we're living, taking care of others, or we're pleasing others, or we're just stuck in a rut. So if you're feeling like you're stuck in a rut, drop a comment below. Or if you're always taking care of others, I know for as a special needs mom, that is always a thing of, taking care of others. So let's talk about why self care and what we are doing with self care. So often we can just, oh, no worries. Hey, Sharon, thanks for joining me. Now I'm going live right now. You didn't miss anything. Um, so, um, so often we have things that are going on, and we just feel really stressed out about it, right? And so we need to do something about it. So I remember one time I was at work and I was just like, this was a while ago, but I was having a terrible morning at work. Like everything was going wrong. I had like a couple of these really not great interactions with people, and just different expectations and things getting rescheduled. It was just a bad morning at work. So then by the time I got to lunch, I got down to the cafeteria at lunch, and I remember feeling like this was such a bad day. Like I need something. And I remember walking into the cafeteria and looking in the case, and I was looking for like the biggest piece of cake with like the thickest frosting, and like what is like the biggest treat that I can possibly have because this day was so hard. That's kind of what I immediately thought of. And that's how I wanted to kind of treat myself, because at the time I thought like, oh, that is self-care. Is this is something that is really enjoyable. This is something that I give to myself when I do a good job or something was hard. And in the moment, that's fine. Like in the moment, you have to take care of yourself. So if that's what you're doing to take care of yourself, uh, and you're just trying to get by, that's fine. But in the moments in between, how else are you going to take care of yourself? Because you can't just live on that. Like let's try to find things that are going to really like fill your soul, because here's what happens. So, and I was talking to a friend about this, and so she said, so you eat the cake, so you had the bad day, you get the big giant cake and you eat the cake, and how long does it take you to eat the cake? And I was like, well, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And she said, okay, so you're soothing yourself for 5 or 10 minutes, and then you go back to your job, which may be stressful. And now you're back at your job and you're still stressed. So now what are you going to do? You're going to go back to the cafeteria at 2 o'clock and eat some more cake. Is that going to get you where you want to go? And it would kind of open my eyes of like, I didn't realize in the moment that I was using, the cake and the sugar as self-care, but that's really what I was trying to do for self-care. So we get kind of stuck in these same ways of doing self-care. And so sometimes the same thing happens with Netflix. Like we are just kind of, or TV, we're just kind of watching TV because that's what we've always done and that's easy. And it might be enjoyable on a surface level, but is it really caring for ourselves? Is it really giving ourselves what we need? So in the case of the cake, what I'm really giving myself is inflammation, when I'm putting myself on the sugar roller coaster ride. So later on, I'm going to feel really tired and shaky and I'm going to have more cravings. So it's really not kind of caring for myself in the way that I need to care for myself. Um, so that sometimes is an important realization. So one of the first really important things with self-care is curiosity. Just being curious about what are you doing now for self-care? Just kind of taking a look at it. And is this really feeding my soul? Is this really taking, yeah, I feel you. Is this really taking me where I want to go? So I read an amazing book. If you struggle with anxiety, there's an amazing, I don't have it right here. I read it last year. It's called Unwinding Anxiety by Judson Brewer. And I can put the name of this book in the amazing, amazing, this book. It really helped with my anxiety, and I definitely recommend it to others if you're struggling with anxiety. So one of the first steps is just kind of being curious. So let's talk about curiosity. So have you ever felt like you just need something, right? You just like really, yeah, I struggle hard too, Sharon. I totally get it. Have you ever felt like you just really need something, like there's this itch that you must scratch right now? Like you can't, someone mentioned that movie and there's that actor in the movie and you can't remember the name of the actor and it's driving you crazy and you have to find out about it right now. And so, and you feel like, oh my goodness, I need my phone. I have to Google this right now. I have to know. So and it feels like, fix this now, right? And so it's this itchy, scratchy curiosity, of like, I need this right now. So like that's the same as the cake. So I came down to the cafeteria after my really hard morning, and it was like, "Ugh, I need this right now." This itchy, scratchy. It's a reactive kind of curiosity, and it kind of leads to us to being reactive, and we're just trying to fix it right now. Just do anything we can to sort of fix it right now. And so we sometimes fall into these things of like, I need the cake to fix it right now, or I'm just going to lay on the couch and watch this Netflix thing, even though I don't really care about it. Like I'm just kind of stuck in this series and I can't get off the couch because I'm just watching this thing. And it seems like this is what I've always done. And really, some of that is just also just avoiding things. So that's one kind of curiosity. Now, let's talk about another kind of curiosity. Now, let's say you're going on an awesome trip where you are loving the journey just as much as the destination. And you're maybe going on a cross country trip where you're stopping at all sorts of places, whatever feels right. And that curiosity feels expansive and it feels interesting. And you're like, I wonder what's over there. Let's go over there. I wonder what's over there. Hey, what is in Wall Drug? I've seen all these Wall Drug signs. What is in there? All of these different things, of expansive interest, curiosity. So with that kind of curiosity, we can say to ourselves, what do I really need to do to care for myself? Rather than the itchy, hard curiosity. So, some of the different things that we can use are, saying no to things, resetting an expectation, like going to bed early. Some of the other things I love are gratitude. So, even just having like a little bit of a gratitude practice, taking a walk outside, of I love getting a fancy new journal and a pen. I love that feeling. Reading a great book in bed, of appreciating yourself, of all the amazing things that you've done, connecting with friends, uh, drinking some water, doing some things that are really going to support you. So, those are some of the things. So, we can get stuck in a type of self care that is really not serving us, and we kind of get stuck in that instead of reaching for the curiosity that's really going to feed our souls. Okay. And that's really going to help us get to know ourselves and feed our souls. So, for this first day, I will post a homework post, but what we're doing on this first day is I have a post that has just like a checklist, an inventory of all of different kinds of self-care that are really self-care that's taking care of yourself. And to the homework is to just kind of take a look at that, and it's a kind of checklist that's super easy that you can just say yes, 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 and you're not scoring really anything for the most part. You're just checking off the number of yeses you have, so you can look at how many of these things that you're doing for yourself now, and that can kind of give you an idea of, okay, am I really taking care of myself, or are there things that I need to change? So there's maybe different areas where you want to change. And then we'll talk about some different areas of self care throughout this challenge. And then there will be a prize associated with this as well, which I will announce during the week. So, and we'll also talk about where this connects with quitting sugar and with self care, and quitting sugar and with weight loss. So, this really does interact with these two pieces because a lot of times we're using the food to comfort ourselves, or we're using the sugar to comfort ourselves instead of other things. So, initially, the self care doesn't feel like the thing that we would always reach for, and so there may be a little bit of discomfort there, but ultimately, once we get over the hump, we are really gonna be feeding our souls and feeling much better later on, and you'll be able to kinda look later on and say, "Yes, that was really I feel so much more refreshed after that." So that's kind of the goal, is for you to know the ways to really take care of yourself and maybe what areas you need to do more self-care for you, and helping to find that. So I will post the homework post, and we'll see how we're all doing with self-care with that. And this will stay up in the group, and look forward to chatting with you guys about the self-care.